All right, so moving on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my top 5 sports analysts in sports today. So, me being a sports podcaster, I put together a pretty good list. These are the following 5 names I do believe are the greatest sports analysts in sports today. I'll be ranking them from number 5 all the way down to number 1. So, with that being said, excuse me. Let's get the list going. At number 5, I have Skip Bayless. Now, Skip Bayless today in the sports analyst world is like the 2010-2011 version of Shaq when he was with the Boston Celtics before he retired. And I say that with all due respect. But I have to say Skip Bayless is worthy of my top 5 still at this point of sports, because I have to say Skip Bayless is good enough to be in my top 5 due to the fact of him being a godfather for sports debate shows like First Take, him giving Stephen A. his big break on television, him also giving Shannon Sharpe his big break on Undisputed, and he's paved the way for these guys to be the biggest names in sports. Stephen A. Smith, of course, one of the biggest names in sports. Shannon Sharpe, one of the biggest names in the sports analyst category. Skip Bayless deserves credit for that. And he's never been shy to share his hot takes, no matter how hot the takes are, no matter what his hatred is for an individual player like LeBron James in particular. But he's never been shy to share his takes or beliefs for the world of sports. And it's the reason why people's eyes, he will go down as one of the biggest names in the sports analyst category of all time, because his impact on sports. You might not like the guy, and his takes might be bad at this particular point of his career, but what he's done for sports as a whole and contributing to the game, contributing to sports for thus long, I think Skip Bayless deserves his flowers, and I have to have him in my top 5 right now. Now, number 4 is Michael Wilbon. Michael Wilbon is an incredible guy. The man knows his sports. He's very knowledgeable. He's a legend for the sports game. I mean, for years, he's crafted the element of debating sports in 60 seconds on Pardon the Interruption. He's been the host of that show since 2001, and he's been nailing it ever since for over 20 years. And his takes makes you feel like when he wraps up in a ball and throws at you in a matter of 60 seconds, it feels like a rapper and a hip-hop artist spitballing off the top of his head in a matter of 60 seconds to give you his best bars, word for word, bar for bar. That's how special Michael Wilbon is when he delivers his takes, mainly in a matter of 60 seconds on a weekly basis on Pardon the Interruption. That's how special he is. But he's also been a great contributor to covering the NBA on ESPN. He's done a great, phenomenal job covering for them for years. Michael Wilbon is definitely an icon and a legend. He's number 4 on my list. Now, number 3, I know I'm saying individuals, but all 3 of them count together. The whole entire Inside the NBA cast has to be number 3 on my list, because what Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaq have all done together, they remind you of a group that you'll never forget in the sports world, especially inside the NBA world. They're like a group like the Migos. They're a group like the Beatles. They're a group like the New Day in the wrestling. This is a group that you'll never forget. A D-Generation X, you could also say. There will always be forever remembered in sports forever. And they've been incredible together for over a decade. They're knowledgeable for the game of basketball. They give me some tips on how I provide NBA talk for you guys on the podcast. They're funny, they're entertaining, they always make you want to sit and watch what they're going to do next. And their product has never been dry. It's always been great, excellent. Their delivery is always spectacular for television. And most likely, next season will be the final season of Inside the NBA. Charles Barkley has already stated that he will retire from sports television next season, and it seems like TNT is going to lose Inside the NBA. We know Ernie Johnson is forever going to work with the TNT production, so it seems like this will be the end of the road for Inside the NBA. But it's been a fun ride while it's lasted, with the 4 being together for over a decade in the NBA. Those 3, all respectively, are all on my list at number 3. Now, I flipped 2 on 1, and I'm going to explain why in a second. But number 2 right now on my list is Stephen A. Smith. Let's be honest. How can you not like Stephen A. Smith? I mean, the man has a good fan base, a good crowd. He has got a lot of people that love and hate him. And if you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong. But Stephen A. Smith is somebody that always brings his A game no matter what. He does it all. I mean, he's been with First Take with Skip Bayless. He's pivoted from Skip Bayless over to Max Kellerman. Done the show with him for several years, and now he's giving guys and gals opportunities on First Take to shine and give them a new light and be introduced to a lot of sports fans on television. Look at Shannon Sharp. Look at several others that are displayed on First Take that are giving their shine and giving their flowers on a weekly basis on weekly television. I mean, Stephen A. can do it all. He's the host of, he's a part of First Take, a big part of First Take. He's covered the NBA for ESPN, has his very own podcast show. He's very respected in the sports world. He's very entertaining. He's an exciting man to watch on a weekly basis. And y'all see my poster. The man is diabolical, and his delivery every time the Cowboys lose is entertaining as hell. Whether he's making 60 to 90-second videos for Twitter, whether he's entertaining as hell on countless First Take segments when the Cowboys lose, the man is pure gold. Stephen A. Smith is a guy that inspired me to do the sports podcast for years, and that's somebody I look up to as an icon and a legend in the sports world. Stephen A. always deserves his flowers. He's number 2 on my list. Now, the reason why I flipped 2 and 1 and why I do believe this guy is number 1 right now is what he's done right now. Number 1 is Shannon Sharp. I really feel like Shannon Sharp is the best sports analyst in sports today. And it depends on what you like. It depends on how you like your coffee and you drink it. I honestly feel like, from my perspective, that Shannon Sharp is the best sports analyst right now in the world of sports. And I feel like him leaving Undisputed, him leaving Fox Sports, him leaving Skip Bayless, his whole entire career got completely better. And it's been the best part of his sports analyst career since he's retired, being one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. And we've seen Shannon Sharp take off since he's left Skip Bayless. And he's had an increased role with ESPN First Take. He's been killing it every time he's been on there. He's got his own podcast, The Nightclub, where Chad Ochocinco, they chop it up and they're entertaining as hell, talking about sports and other different topics. Club Shay Shay is a hit. I think that interview with Cat Williams is going to go down as one of the greatest interviews of all time. And I just feel like Shannon Sharp, he's entertaining. His deliveries have been great. He's funny, he's entertaining. He's somebody that you never get bored of watching or listening to. I just feel like right now he is the best right now. And I feel like the best is yet to come for Shannon Sharp, because he's starting to open up and show us all what he's truly capable of right now in the sports world. But those are my top 5 sports analysts in the world of sports today.